Is the real reason your business isn't growing on YouTube because you're saying too much? Well, recently over 1,800 businesses submitted their channels to me to be reviewed, and this was one of the biggest mistakes I saw that was going to stop their business ever getting traction on YouTube. So in this video, I'm going to take one of those channels and I'm going to put it through a 4-step system that's going to show you how to go from making content that is turning your viewers off to making videos that attract your perfect buyers who then go on to binge your channel and grow it. You're going to learn why you need to stop listing things, how to optimize your videos to get clicks, and how to make videos that keep your viewers watching. All right, so this is Connor's channel, and he wants to attract 7- and 8-figure business owners, but it's not going to happen with what he's doing. So I'm going to show you exactly why and what he needs to change to fix that by putting it through a 4-step optimization system. So let's walk through the system to turn this video here, how to actually transform your business with AI, into a video that could actually grow his channel. And I'm going to pull apart all of the mistakes that are very common that you're probably making too. Okay, so the first thing we need to do in step 1 is the most important part of YouTube. Every single decision we make is based around this one thing, and if we don't have clarity on it, nothing works. And that is known as your avatar. So your avatar is basically who is your dream buyer? Who is the person you want to flood your channel with so they come to your business and they buy your thing? So the other thing you need to know is, what do those people actually care about? What is their big problem? So the reason Connor's channel will never grow if he doesn't fix this is because at the moment, what we can see here is he has a video targeting people who are interested in making 100K a day in e-commerce. So the avatar is e-commerce owners, and the problem is they want to scale. The next video is about running a marketing agency using AI. So the avatar is marketing agency owners who want to use AI. Completely different audience to e-commerce. So nobody will come back to his channel and he'll just end up getting a few hundred views per video forever unless he fixes this. And again, this video here is about AI agents explained, super broad advice. The avatar is anyone interested in AI agents. The problem they have is fixing them. So his channel is not built in a way that can grow his business or his following. So we need to fix it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up the avatar for Connor's channel, and then we're going to build a video around it, and I'm going to show you how to optimize your videos so it appeals to your dream buyer. So I'm going to say his avatar is a 7- to 8-figure business owner, and the problem they want to solve is scaling without bloat and chaos, which basically means making more money without adding more stuff on and having a really stressful, chaotic life. Now, doing a bit of research on Connor, that feels kind of in line with what he wants. So now we know that, what we're going to do is this. So let's just imagine that a video has 3 key parts to it. We have the thumbnail and the title. We have the introduction, and we just have the content inside. When we know who that avatar is, we create thumbnails and titles that appeal to them. Then we write intros that appeal to them. And then we make all of our content appeal to them. If we start trying to appeal to other people that aren't them, guess what? The people who are going to grow our business are going to get bored and they leave, and this does not work. So let's look at how to do that now. So the second step here is we need to fix Connor's packaging so that we can make a video that will grow his channel and appeal to his dream buyers. So the first part of his packaging is his title, and let me show you a few things about it that really wreck its performance. Firstly, we don't need random stars. They do nothing. So that adds visual complexity, which is making this harder to read. Secondly, what Connor's said here is business with AI, and then he said AI for business. So we don't need that. It's the same thing said twice. Now look at that. How much easier is that title to read? Significantly. And this is a game of speed. We need people's eyes to lock onto our titles. So that is the first problem. And then the thing that I really have a problem with in this title is this word, transform. Nobody wakes up in the morning and goes, oh, I want to transform my business with AI today. They go, oh my gosh, my team, it's scaling out of control. Sue's off. That means I've got to do the work. I wish there was some sort of thing that could get more work done for me in less time. So we need to call out the specific problem that your viewers actually care about, because they don't care about transforming. They care about something more specific. So that's why that title doesn't work and will not grow your channel. So I've written a few titles just to show you how we could fix this. These are not researched. I just came up with them off the top of my head, but I'll break down why they work better. So I built 7 AI systems that run my business for me. So 7 AI systems, specific, run my business for me. That's the specific result people want. Who are your dream buyers? So we're calling out the avatar in the title. How to systematize specific result, your entire business in 30 days, very specific result with AI. Big businesses, they like the word systematize. Smaller ones don't. So we're just making a title that appeals to the right people. Now, before I move on, let's just pull out a quick problem with this title, because I think this is a big mistake a lot of small channels make. And that is the word I. So until I had 250,000 subscribers on my old channel, no one clicked on thumbnails that I was in. And I realized, oh, no one really cares about me. And that is the same with titles. And I often encourage my clients who are smaller channels maybe not to go too heavy on I did this titles, because no one really cares about us. Now, they can blow up. They can be amazing. But it's just a word of warning. Say, like, if someone doesn't know you, they might be interested more in themselves than they are your backstory. Then there's a few more options here. 7 AI systems that will run your business for you. 7 AI systems that turn 7-figure businesses into 8-figure businesses. It's too long. 7 AI systems that run my 8-figure business. I like that one. The exact AI system running my 8-figure business. Quite like that one. How I use AI agents to run my 8-figure business. I like these two. So that's just an example of how to create a more valuable title for Connor's dream avatar. Next, let's have a look at his thumbnail and pull out some of the problems with this thing. So in 2023, this would have been a great thumbnail, but times have moved on a lot. So let's think about your avatar again. The 7, the 8-figure business owners. Are they clicking on thumbnails that look like they're packed full of E numbers? Well, the answer is no. Because these sort of videos are cliche in the way that their thumbnails are made. They're usually on side hustle channels, usually on channels teaching people how to make their first 10K, and they appeal to a very different type of viewer. If we look at the trend on YouTube as to what appeals to 7 to 8-figure business owners, it's boring, ugly thumbnails. And the reason that they like this is because they are actively trying to avoid this sort of content because they want the deeper stuff, the no-nonsense stuff. And your packaging is basically just very out of date and won't do that. No offense. So once we have done our thumbnail and title, we can then move on to write our intro. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Connor's intro, and we're going to break it down bit by bit because he makes some of the really common mistakes I see every day. So stick with me, 25 seconds. Now, before I play this to you, I want to make the importance of specificness in a title clearer. So you see his title, How to Actually Transform Your Business with AI for Businesses. Think about, if you were going to click on that, what do you want to be given inside the video? And then when you're watching this introduction, ask yourself, is he giving me the thing I expected? If the answer is no, that's when the viewer's gone.
Picture this. You've got a growing business, customers are coming in and you're excited, but behind the scenes, it is total chaos. You've got manual processes everywhere, your team's knowledge is scattered across 12 different apps, and that one person who knows how everything works just went on vacation. That sound familiar? You also hear about AI everywhere. I mean, it's meant to fix all of this, but it seems like the landscape changes weekly with flashy new tools and hyped up videos on your YouTube homepage. And as a business owner, you don't have time to sift through all of the noise or experiment with new tools, which might be obsolete next month. Here's the truth about AI in business that...
All right, so I can tell Connor is in marketing because he understands setting up the problem, but I can also tell he's not quite the YouTuber he will one day be because his introduction was so long. It's not even finished yet. We're only at the start. So let's have a look at what went wrong there. So let's analyze this hook. So a hook is basically supposed to be 1 line long, and it's supposed to make your ideal viewer go, oh, this sounds like something that might interest me. That's kind of it. It gets their attention. It makes them curious to want to listen to the second line. That's pretty much its job. So Connor does a pretty good job of saying, picture this, you're growing a business, customers are coming in, you're excited. Behind the scenes, it's chaos, you've got manual processes. So he's painting the picture of his target viewer's biggest problem, which will hook them. They'll sit there going, this is exactly what's happening to me. This guy gets me, and they'll like that. But then he turns around and goes, you also hear AI is everywhere. It's meant to fix all of this, but it seems like your landscape changes with... It's like, whoa. Let's break this down a sec. Customers are coming in, and you're excited. 1. Behind the scenes is total chaos. 2, you've got manual processes everywhere. 3, your team's knowledge is scattered across 12 different apps. 4, and the person who knows everything works is on vacation. 5, sound familiar? You also hear about AI everywhere. 6, is meant to fix all of this, but it sees that your landscape changes weekly. 7, with flashy new tools and high-top videos on YouTube homepage. And as a business owner, you don't have time to shift through all the noise. 8, with tools that might be obsolete next month. That is 9 problems you have thrown at a viewer in an introduction. It is incredibly overwhelming, and it's basically just a list. And no one clicks on a YouTube video going, do you know what I want? A list of all the problems I might have. So what we need to do is just pick one, and we need to build it around the title. So I've decided to come up with this title that was 7 new AI systems that will run your business for you. The reason I came up with this title is new gets you more views, AI gets you more views, systems is a word that's going to appeal to his avatar, and that's the result they want too. So I feel kind of good about that title. And instead of throwing a ton of problems, I'm just going to say this. Most businesses want to use AI, but fear implementing it might wreck their tried and tested systems. That's it. I'm just calling out one thing. And that might not be the right thing, but it's far more effective. So let's move on to the rest of his introduction, which makes the same mistake everyone makes.
As a business owner, you don't have time to sift through all of the noise or experiment with new tools which might be obsolete next month. Here's the truth about AI in business that nobody is talking about. Most businesses want to use AI, but get stuck in a nightmare of fragmented systems, knowledge silos, and fears that implementing it might actually make things worse. Now, I'm Connor Sunderland, and here's the thing. My main business isn't even an AI company. I'm a business owner just like you who needed real solutions, not shiny objects. Everything I'm about to show you isn't theoretical. These are the exact AI systems that we built and use every day in our own operations. We eat our own cooking here. So if I'm recommending something that doesn't work, I am the first person to be harmed by it.
I hope you didn't pay anyone to write this for you. Because so he finished the 2 hooks here, and then he set up another problem. So actually it was like 10 problems, and said most businesses want to use AI but get stuck in a nightmare of fragmented systems. Like, so again, more problems. There's about 13 problems listed, and we're not even into the video yet. So really, this should have been your hook. Most businesses want to use AI but get stuck in a nightmare of fragmented systems and knowledge silos. Knowledge silos is a very corporate word, even as a 7 to 8 figure business owner. And fears that implementing might make things worse, right? All right, so let's go back to the title. Remember I said to you, pay attention to what you expect this video to deliver based on the title. We are a minute in, and I would be very certain that 99% of you all turned around and went, this is not what I want. Because transform is too general in a title. So some of you might have wanted to build AI systems. Some of you might have wanted to do recruitment. Some of you might have wanted to do marketing. So if we lead with a general title and then come in with a specific intro, it puts people off and they leave. Now, the next problem with this intro is this. You introduce yourself and then you say, my main business isn't even an AI company. I'm just a business owner like you. Why are you giving us advice on AI then? Like, don't include that. And then you say everything I'm about to show you isn't theoretical. Because you haven't set up any value, and because you've given us no specific information in this video, everything I'm about to show you doesn't get me excited. It confuses me because I'm like, well, what's he going to show me? Why does it matter to me? And then you say, these are the exact AI systems we built and use every day in operations. But I don't know anything about you. So why would I care about your operations? And then you say, we eat our own cooking, so I recommend something that doesn't work. I'm going to be the first person to be harmed with it. Well, again, I don't know any specific details about what this is going to do to me in this entire introduction. So I don't care about anything you've said, meaning this video could never work. So how do we fix it? Well, I've rewritten it. I'm going to read it to you. So this time, my title is 7 new AI systems that will run your business for you. And the hook is, most businesses want to use AI, but fear implementing it might wreck their tried and tested systems. But there are 7 AI I use every day that now save 20 to 30 hours of work a week across departments. They cut meetings and onboarding times in half and increase profit margins 50% without hiring more people. So in this video, I'm going to show you what they are and exactly how to use them without wrecking what's already working for you. So the hook, short, calls out the problem. Then I set up very specific value, the things that a 7 to 8 figure business owner wants to hear. Saving 20 to 30 hours work. That sounds amazing. Cutting meeting times and onboarding times. Increasing profit margins 50%. And now as a viewer, I'm like, this is everything I want in my life. And then you say, I'm going to show you how to get it. It's like, perfect. I'm in. Where do I sign? So we have a hook. We've set up the problem, we've called out the avatar, we've matched their expectations as to what they expected when they clicked, and I've said this has already worked for me, so I'm credible. Your introduction doesn't make you sound credible at all, because it assumes people know who you are, and on YouTube, no one knows who we are. Even if we have 3 million subscribers, no one knows who we are, because there's billions of people who haven't seen us in the world. So always write to the cold audience. All right, so that's the intro. Then we're going to move on to this section of the script, and continue to unpack what's stopping this working.
With manual, time-consuming processes where essential knowledge is scattered across tools or stuck in people's heads, your growth is literally breaking your systems. What worked at 5 clients is falling apart at 15 or 30, and the AI you're using, well, all of the value walks out the door when someone leaves because there's no centralized system. Your leadership is constantly asking, are we up or are we down, and scrambling for answers.
Right, I'll cut it there, but you get the idea. This section of the video just cut because Bear in mind our introduction listed 13 different problems. You're now just listing more problems. This video is just a problem list. But also, the visuals are very complex and overwhelming. So this line here is far too close to the line below it. It makes readability very hard. The text is very small on a mobile as well, and the majority of your viewers are probably going to come from mobile. And your engagement and presenting level just dropped. You went from really engaging on camera to a guy reading slides, which historically is the worst way to present information and everyone hates listening to. So you don't need to list all of these problems if you know your intro, because I've set up the one problem that this whole video is designed to solve in a sentence. So what you're doing is the classic thing of over-informing. And a good video isn't about getting every detail in. It's about including only the thing that matters so that the viewer wants to get to the next line. So I would just cut that entire system. And then let's move on to his first point, where Connor actually does something very well. And most people do not do this very well. So I'm going to show you what that is. And then I'm going to show you how to turn the problem this point has into a script that eliminates it. See if you can spot the problem. I'll give you a clue. It's the same problem we've had throughout.
And very ineffective. So let's start by auditing your business to find the highest impact AI opportunities. The most successful AI implementations that we've done for clients start with a simple audit of your business's operations. We're going to look at 7 key departments of your business: marketing, sales, product, operations, technology, people and leadership, and finance. Now, grab a piece of paper or open your notes app, because I want you to grade each department based on 2 things. First, how much pain is each department causing your business right now? And secondly, how much potential upside could be unlocked by you fixing this? For example, if your marketing team is spending hours every single day on writing posts which don't really get any engagements across social media, well, you could call that maybe a 7 in pain. But if we're looking at that because it's in the domain of content marketing, the potential upside of that is probably a 10 if you really nailed it. If we were to look at your sales team that was spending a ton of time on manual data entry and qualifying leads instead of actually closing deals and building relationships, we would probably say the pain there is an 8, and that the potential upside is also maybe a 9.
Okay, so let's start with what he did well to give you a little break from that. Right, let's have a look at this. Down here we can see he's used chapters, so we can see when one point begins and another one ends. What he did well was this line here. So he says,
so let's start by auditing your business to find the highest impact AI opportunities.
Now, the wording's not great, but what he has done is basically give people a why. So let me explain. Hardly anyone ever does this, wrecks their videos. So the point of your title is to tell people what you're going to tell them. And then in your intro, you tell people what you're going to tell them. And at the start of your first point, you tell people what you're going to tell them. And at the start of your second point, you tell people what you're going to tell them. And then at the start of the third, you tell people what you're going to tell them. And at the end, you tell them what you're going to tell them next. That's it. So that line there is known as a transition. And it says, this is what's coming next. So the viewer understands why this matters. And this is a storytelling technique. I mean, think about every story you've ever watched. Something happens right here at the start that you want to know the outcome to, and you'll stick around to the end to hear it. But if you didn't know why someone had gone on an adventure, it wouldn't make any sense. You'd be like, what are they trying to do? Where are they going? And you'd get confused. So you constantly need to be telling people what you're going to tell them and why it matters to them. Now, the problem Connor had here is, I don't think he pitched a specific enough or interesting enough result to hook people. So when I show you my rewrite, I'll show you how to solve that. The next problem he had is this. Continuing on the theme of a giant list, Connor listed 7 things and then said, here's 2 steps, and then continued to just list stuff, making complexity spike and viewers not pay attention. So we've had, here's 7 things, here's 2 things you need to do, here's your marketing team, score it a 7 and a 9, here's your sales team, score it a 5 and a 3. And what it will do is it will just completely overload viewers. So what do you do instead? Well, this is what I would do. I've rewritten his point and I'll show you. So what you need to understand is, what Connor's done is give you all of the information, but he's an expert in what he does, so he understands data spat out in this way. Most people are not. Even if you're after 7 or 8 figure business owners, I'm one, I wouldn't have sat through and listened to that because it's just too overwhelming. So what we have to do is work out what's the easiest way for people to understand the thing we want to teach them so that they go, oh, I get it. And him giving multiple examples of how to score things, we get it after the first explanation. So he's over-explaining. And when you over-explain, you add in complexity, which overloads your viewer's brain. So I would have written it like this, and I would have started with a transition. To start, you need to establish where in your business you'll get the biggest return from installing AI. It's a nice, specific, simple transition. And then I'm going to lead with the least complex explanation of how this works ever, a story. So when I first did this, I tried to install it in our marketing department because it felt like the area that was giving me the biggest headache at the time. But although it saved the team a ton of time, when we looked at the impact it actually had on profit, it was marginal. However, when we set it up in sales, which didn't seem like the biggest headache at the time, we saw our sales team's close rate double. So to work out where to start setting up AI in your business, write down what's giving you the biggest headache and then score how much of an impact fixing it might have on your business. Do this across every department, then start with the one that has the biggest upside. Now you know that, I'm going to show you how we implemented AI into the 7 key areas of my business to increase productivity, profit, and scalability. So this entire section of his video that is like 3 minutes long, I've summed up with a story and let the viewers go, yeah, I get it, cool, move on. And we do need to take into consideration sometimes that our viewers have a brain and don't need to be handed lists. And then we move on to the end of the video, which sounds like this.
There'll be those who use AI to solve real problems and real bottlenecks within their businesses as they continue to grow. The ones that use AI not to replace human touch, but to enhance it by removing the tedious and robotic parts of that human's job. You've seen what's possible, you've seen what AI can do, now it's time to make it happen within your business.
All right, so what you need to understand is the end of your video is more important than the start, and it is your goal to get people to click on this end screen. Why? Well, because the first time someone discovers you, they're cold. By the time they get to the end of your video, they're a little bit warmer. And what you will see if you look in your YouTube studio is the views you get on end screens, the retention is significantly higher than anywhere else on YouTube. So I get 70% retention sometimes on these videos. And the more retention we get, the more sales power our content has. So Connor winds down the video, which provides no value and tells the viewer this is over, doesn't set up a reason to watch anything else, and therefore wrecks pretty much all of the selling power of this video and the thing that makes YouTube such a wonderful marketing tool. So instead, what you do is you turn around and you set up the problem they still have, and you tell them the next video will solve it. Like this. Okay, so now I have showed you how to structure a video so that you can keep people interested and turn them into buyers. Once you've filmed it, you need to know how to edit the thing to keep them engaged. Otherwise, all of that work went to waste. So watch this video next, and I'll teach you editing that turns viewers into buyers. And that was the end of my video.